Did you know that 75% of people fear public speaking more than anything else? That's right, more than spiders, heights, or even death. Yet, presentations are a critical part of leadership. Whether you're pitching an idea, leading a meeting, or inspiring a team, how you present matters. Here's something even more surprising. People forget 90% of what they hear within 48 hours. So, how do you make sure your message sticks? In this video, we'll break down 5 unique tips that go beyond the usual advice. You won't just learn to speak, you'll learn to lead the room, inspire action, and leave a lasting impression. From mastering your voice to crafting stories that resonate, these strategies will make your next presentation unforgettable. Ready to change the way you speak? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Command the room. Mastering first impressions. A great presentation starts with a powerful first impression. Research shows that we form opinions about people within just 7 seconds of meeting them. So, how do you make those first seconds count? Start with your posture. Standing tall with your shoulders back instantly conveys confidence. People are more likely to trust and listen to confident speakers. Your opening line matters, too. Skip the generic introductions. Instead, lead with a bold statement or a thought-provoking question. Did you know that 70% of people admit to fearing public speaking more than death? That grabs attention. Remember, your voice sets the mood. Speak with purpose and avoid rushing. A slow, steady pace shows you're in control. This isn't just about words. Research suggests that 93% of communication is nonverbal. Your body language, tone, and facial expressions play a huge role. Walk with intention. Instead of pacing nervously, move strategically. For example, moving closer to the audience when delivering a key point can build connection. Amy Cuddy, author of Presence, emphasizes the importance of power poses. Just standing in a confident position before your presentation can reduce stress and boost your performance. And don't forget to smile. A smile is contagious and helps break down walls. Studies have shown that smiling can make you appear more approachable and trustworthy. In short, command the room with your posture, voice, and presence. These small adjustments set the tone for the rest of your talk. Chapter 2. Storytelling magic. Turn data into impact. People may forget your data, but they'll remember your story. Stories are how humans connect. In fact, according to Princeton University research, storytelling causes the listener's brain to sync with the speaker's. You're literally on the same wavelength. So, when you present data, think about the narrative. Instead of saying, "Sales increased by 20% this year," tell the story behind it. For instance, our team worked tirelessly, experimenting with 10 different strategies until one clicked, leading to a 20% boost in sales. This transforms a dull fact into a memorable moment. Don't overwhelm your audience with numbers. Cognitive overload happens when people are given too much data at once. Instead, focus on key points and tie them to human experiences. For example, if you're presenting budget figures, relate them to something relatable, like comparing a cost-saving measure to the price of a cup of coffee. Use metaphors and analogies to simplify complex information. If your audience understands the story, they'll understand the numbers. As Brené Brown puts it, maybe stories are just data with a soul. Visual aids help here too. But remember, visuals should complement your story, not replace it. A simple, clear graph that highlights the key takeaway is far more powerful than a cluttered slide. Studies show that people are 6.5 times more likely to remember information when it's presented visually alongside text. Lastly, every story needs a hero. Whether it's your customer, your team, or even a challenge you faced, give your audience someone to root for. This helps them stay emotionally invested in your message. Like what you're seeing? Hit subscribe and we'll continue right where we left off. Chapter 3. Visuals that speak. Crafting slide design for influence. A well-designed slide can amplify your message. A poorly designed one can sink it. We've all seen the dreaded wall of text on a slide. Research confirms that audiences remember only 10% of what they hear, but when visuals are used, retention increases to 65%. The key to effective slide design is simplicity. Follow the rule of 3, limit each slide to 3 main points or visuals. This keeps your message clear and digestible. Avoid cramming too much information into a single slide. It overwhelms your audience and distracts from your point. Use high-quality images that evoke emotion or reinforce your message. A powerful image can communicate more in seconds than a paragraph ever could. For example, a single image of a happy customer says more than any testimonial text. Choose your fonts wisely. Readability is key. Sans serif fonts like Arial or Helvetica are clean and easy to read. Limit your font choices to 2, one for headings and one for body text. This keeps your slides visually organized. Font size matters, too. Your text should be readable even from the back of a room. Experts recommend a minimum font size of 24 points. Color choices also influence perception. Bright, contrasting colors are great for drawing attention to important information, but too many colors can be distracting. Stick to a color palette that complements your brand or message. For example, blue conveys trust and professionalism, while red can signal urgency or passion. Animations and transitions can be useful, but they're often overdone. A simple fade or slide-in effect is enough. Avoid flashy transitions that might come off as unprofessional or distracting. Remember, the focus should always be on your message, not on gimmicky effects. Chapter 4. Audience Whisperer. Reading the room like a pro. A great presenter knows their audience. It's not just about speaking, it's about engaging and connecting. Dale Carnegie, in his famous book How to Win Friends and Influence People, said, "When dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion." So, your job as a speaker isn't just to inform, but to feel the room's energy and adjust on the fly. Start by observing body language. Are people nodding, smiling, or leaning forward? Great, this means they're engaged. But if arms are crossed, eyes are wandering, or heads are down, it's a sign you've lost them. You can regain their attention by changing your delivery. If you're using slides, take a break and ask a question. Studies show that interactive presentations increase retention by 70% compared to passive listening. Another way to keep engagement high is to make eye contact. Instead of scanning the room randomly, focus on one person for a few seconds, then move on to someone else. This helps build a personal connection and keeps everyone attentive. According to the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, speakers who make strong eye contact are perceived as more trustworthy and credible. Pay attention to pacing, too. If the energy in the room feels low, speed up slightly. If they seem overwhelmed, slow down and give them time to process. You can even throw in a well-placed pause. Pauses create anticipation and allow your audience to digest your message. Abraham Lincoln was known for using long pauses to emphasize important points during his speeches. Interactive elements also help. Ask the audience questions or encourage them to raise their hands. This pulls people back into the conversation. You could even use humor, but only if it feels natural to you. A light-hearted joke or a witty comment can break tension and re-engage listeners. The best presenters don't just talk at the audience, they talk with them. Treat your presentation as a two-way street. Gauge their reactions, adjust accordingly, and keep the connection strong. Chapter 5. Vocal Power Play. Using your voice to lead the charge. Your voice is one of the most powerful tools you have as a presenter. Yet, many people underestimate how much it can influence an audience. The way you use your voice can inspire, motivate, or, if misused, bore people to sleep. A study by UCLA found that 38% of communication impact comes from vocal tone. Only 7% is from the actual words. First, let's talk about pitch. Varying your pitch keeps things interesting. Speaking in a monotone can make even the most exciting topics feel dull. Use a higher pitch to express excitement or a lower pitch to convey seriousness. Margaret Thatcher, known for her commanding voice, famously trained herself to speak in a lower register to project authority. Next, consider your pace. Too fast, and you risk confusing your audience. Too slow, and you might lose their interest. Find a balance, but don't be afraid to mix it up. Speed up during exciting parts, and slow down when you want to emphasize a key point. TED Talks speakers are masters at this, often speeding up to build excitement and then pausing right before dropping an important fact or quote. Pausing is another underrated tool. A well-timed pause lets your words sink in. Silence can feel uncomfortable, but it's incredibly powerful in communication. Martin Luther King Jr. used pauses frequently in his famous "I Have a Dream" speech to let the weight of his words settle over the crowd. Volume is critical, too. Raise your voice slightly when you want to command attention, but don't shout. Lower it when you want to draw your audience in and make them lean forward. Barack Obama was known for controlling volume masterfully, using softer tones to make people feel as if they were part of a private conversation, even in a crowded room. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content and exclusive updates.